Welcome back to the Stephan Show. My name is Graham, and welcome to my show. And today we have a very special caller. He is 19 years old. He has a YouTube channel, and he runs a vending machine business. And guess how much money he's making? $120,000 a year. And his question is, what to do with all of this money? So let's bring him on and see what it's all about. So welcome to the Stephan Show. What's going on?
Well, my name is Jaime, and I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm actually a fellow YouTuber, and I currently make videos about the vending machine business. I started about 6 months ago, and I now make over six figures a year.
That's incredible. I watch your videos, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I've been watching them for a while. And by a while, I mean like 3 months, 4 months, something like that. Because I remember you used to comment on my channel. And,
all the time.
And so I would check out your videos from there. And you've had some incredible success on that. But anyway, I'll let you continue.
That's what I do full time now, just YouTube. But I've been having, I wouldn't say problems saving money, but I would say, I need help because I went from making like $1,500 a month like only 5 months ago to now over $10,000 a month, and it's a big jump.
Jeez, man. All right, so the first thing I'm going to interrupt you right there. I want you to know that when it comes to YouTube, as quickly as you went to 10K, you can go back down to zero. And I hate to scare you or instill any sort of fear in you when it comes to this. It can go down so quickly. And the reason I know this is because I have seen this happen to so many channels. And I am praying for my own channel that it doesn't go down to zero. I'm being dead serious. I have seen some channels just get killed off in a matter of days from an algorithm change or a demonetization. I've seen it happen so many times now where it's definitely not the norm, but it's something that you cannot put all of your eggs in one basket and expect this to continue forever, when the reality is that you are at the whims of a YouTube algorithm that decides how much money you make, and how much they like you determines how much money you make. That's the truth. The first thing I want to say, you need to act like every day is going to be your last day earning that dollar. And I hate to sound this extreme, but it is the truth. That's how I want you to think of all of this money right now. And very well, I hope it continues, and I hope you can start making $50,000 and even $100,000 a month. And I think that's absolutely possible on YouTube. But I also don't want you to get delusioned that, okay, this is the new normal. This is going to be my new income now, and I can spend as though I'm making $10,000 a month. I think YouTube is the same as just about any sort of commission job out there, that the only way to budget is based on what you've made the previous year. So like in real estate, it's very common that what they say is you can never budget based on how much you make in a year, because some years you'll make a lot of money and the other years you might not make anything. So budget on last year, which you don't have a last year. So right now, save everything and double down, because now you have this opportunity on YouTube. The window is open, and I like the fact that you went full time and you jumped right into it. I think that's the right move to make, and I would have told you to do the same thing. Save everything. What are your current expenses right now? How much do you spend?
Current expenses, what I do have to pay every month, I recently moved out, so I pay rent, utilities, phone.
How much is rent?
Rent, not too bad. It's $950.
Okay, that's good. What are your total expenses every single month?
Total expenses, I would say about $1,500.
Keep it at $1,500. That's really good, dude. That's really good. Do not, I repeat, do not spend any more money right now. At least for the next. I'm extreme. Like you guys know me. I'm a little on the extreme side when it comes to frugality and savings. Ideally, if you want me to be happy and you want me to be like, oh, you made me proud, for the next 2 years, I want you to spend $1,500 a month and keep it at that. Everything else that you get, I want you to put in savings, and I want you to probably, if it were me, I'd probably invest half of it and keep half of it in a high-interest savings account, just because you don't know when you might need access to that money, or maybe you decide to go and invest in real estate or buy a property, or maybe something happens, you see a new opportunity. I think it's important at 19 to have that type of liquidity. But I also believe that you should be investing and saving just a big portion of that.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be hard for sure. Going only spending $1,500 a month.
You need to.
yeah, since the last few months, since I've been doing this, I've been spending at least, to be honest, a little over half. I
Bro,
try.
dude, what the you're pissing me off here, man. You're
I'm
pissing. You
sorry.
made me so happy in the beginning, and now you crushed it. You
I
cannot do
mean,
this, man. You have to realize you're 6 months in
hmm
to all of this money. You're
yeah,
so new. You're so new to all of this. Now is your chance to get ahead. You have been handed this golden egg of just like,
hmm
here's money. Don't screw it up. That's what you've been handed. You
yeah,
cannot spend. If you had a salaried career and you had a W-2 job that was stable, that you've worked at for 10 years, if you said I spend half of my income, I would have I wouldn't have a problem with it. But when you talk about you're relying on a YouTube algorithm and you have a run up lately of really good videos and really good views, and now you're making this money, it will not last forever. And you have to treat it as though this money is not going to last forever, because it will not. And
yeah,
it sounds depressing, and I hope it does. But I really believe YouTube is a type of career for anyone watching. You could make so much money in like 5 years. You could make enough money to retire if you play that 5 years smart. You don't want to be like a Fousey tube, right? Who makes like
yeah,
a
yeah,
million, $2 million a year, blows it all, and it's all gone. And then you have to start over. You don't want to do that, man. You
yeah.
don't want to do
Well,
that. You want to play it smart.
the thing is that, yeah, even though I do spend over half, it's actually not on like, useless stuff like, oh, I don't go out and buy, Gucci or like a new phone or new shoes.
You better not.
I put most of that money back into my business actually. So, I mean, would you still say only
Yes.
spend the 50
No,
still?
no. How are you putting it back into your business? Because that does change things.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I do have a vending machine business. So it's either buying more machines to grow that business,
That's fine.
buying better, upgrading the machines to accept credit cards. That's basically it.
Oh, that's
Buying a
fine.
better camera for YouTube.
That's totally fine. Oh, I thought you were just. Oh man, you should have told me that. Anyway, everything still applies, but it's different if you're spending it back on a business. That totally
hmm
makes sense. And that I would
Yeah.
I would honestly say goes back to, remember how I said I would invest half and save half.
hmm
The same thing. I mean, when I meant invest half, that could be investing back into a business. It doesn't necessarily need to be an index fund. It doesn't necessarily need to be stocks or anything like that.
hmm
So yes.
Okay.
So I think that's fantastic, and just save the rest of it.
Okay. Yeah, I've been seeing your videos, and I've heard you talking about and saving the money with an Ally Bank.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking into that actually. That way I don't spend the other half.
Yes, I would absolutely do that. Ally Bank is really good. I've just opened up an account with Wealthfront recently. They're offering 2.51% interest, and they're insured up to $1 million. So I looked into it. It seemed pretty legit. So I'm moving half of my money over to Wealthfront. I don't want to do the whole thing because I'm worried, well,
Uh-huh.
it's a Wealthfront. It's not quite Ally. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I would look into Ally is phenomenal. Depending on how much money you have, the interest rate of like 0.2 something percent isn't going to matter hugely.
Yeah.
Look into one of those. Ally, from my experience, has been amazing. If you're just if you're just putting away money, Wealthfront might, otherwise be a good option for you.
hmm Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. And see if I can save half my money, if not most of it. Because, like you said, YouTube's not gonna last forever, and I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah, that's the only thing I want to hammer in here, because I've seen it way too much with Shopify people. I don't want to call any Shopify people out because we're all friends, but I have seen it firsthand where they expect this 5-figure a month income to continue, and then all of a sudden 3 months later they're making like a tenth of what they used to. And they got used to a very, very, very expensive lifestyle, just thinking the money is going to continue coming in. And it's very common with people who are who go from nothing to a lot, and they just
Yeah.
that's a lot more dangerous, in my opinion, to go from 0 to like 30K a month than it is from 0 to 2 to 5 to 10, and like slowly
Yeah.
ease into it. Because it catches a lot of people off guard, and I think a lot of people just don't know how to properly manage something like that. Would you mind giving the income breakdown, how much you're making from YouTube, how much you're making from vending machines, and where you want to take this?
Yeah, yeah. So on average, YouTube, I've been making about 11,000 the last 5 months. The most I've made was almost 14,000. So,
Okay,
and then from vending, it's right now it's about 3,000 gross
good.
of
And
a
what's your
month.
net on that?
Net about half, so 1,500.
1,500. Okay.
Yeah,
That's not,
plus
that's, yeah.
sponsorships and everything else.
Okay. Um, I would diversify if you can from YouTube also to Instagram. I don't know if you're doing that already. If you haven't done that, 100% do that, because my thing is now I'm getting almost more engagement on Instagram within the first like 10 20 minutes than I am on YouTube. And that's with
Hmm.
like less than a tenth of the following, which, by the way, you guys, there should be no excuse if you're watching this video right now and you haven't added me on Instagram. Here's your chance. Here's your chance to add me right now on Instagram. Because the thing is, this video is going to get like 30 to probably 70,000 views. And I only
Uh-huh.
have 62,000 followers. That the math doesn't make sense. Unless everyone that's watching adds me on Instagram, you know, the math doesn't make
They
sense
should
here. So you guys got to add
they,
me.
they should pause the video, go follow you, and come right back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. We're just going to pause the video. I'm just going to wait. I'm not even going to say anything for the next minute until you go and add me on Instagram. No, but for real, though, I would diversify to Instagram if you can. I think the more platforms you have, the safer you're going to be. And that way, just in case something happens to YouTube, you have a bit of a following on Instagram to fall back on.
Hmm.
Um, and also, I mean, just building out your personal brand more and more and more. And you may want to look into expanding beyond vending machines at some point and maybe get into, honestly, I think right now it seems like laundromats could be pretty big.
Laundromat.
Self-storage
Uh-huh.
can be pretty big. And one thing that no one is doing on YouTube, and I'm kind of surprised about this, and I wonder why, is mobile homes.
Mobile homes.
There is not one big person on YouTube who's doing mobile homes. There's a lot of people doing Airbnb, but why is
Yeah.
no one investing in mobile homes? Why is no one doing this? It seems like it's very low cost. It seems like there's a very high ROI given what it is. I mean, not that I want you to go and do this, but I do think that there is a need on YouTube for mobile homes. If you decide that's something you want to get into, that
Yeah.
I think would be a very interesting diversification from vending machines. And it's just a
That
random
that's so
suggestion.
true.
We're just having a friendly conversation here, but that I think would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's so true. I better hop on it before anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. You gotta hop on it before this video goes live, and then everyone else is gonna start buying mobile home parks. I
Yeah,
have no
mobile
I have
home
no
market
idea.
is gonna
Maybe
go up.
yeah, man. I mean, maybe it's a terrible idea. I don't know. Maybe that's why nobody's done it. But
And by the way, one more question, which is about credit cards. If that's okay.
Mhm.
I want to get into like what you said about traveling for free whenever you rack up points. But the question about that is, for example, whenever they say you spend $3,000 and you get 50,000 points, right?
Mhm.
For example, let's say you have a 5,000 credit limit. Does that mean spend the whole thing at once and then just pay it off, or do you not have to pay it off for it to count?
No. That's a good question if you have to pay it off or not. I believe it's just when you spend, when you put $3,000 on the card within the first 3 months or whatever it
Oh,
might
okay.
be. I do not believe you have to pay it off. That's a really good question. But here's the thing, though. I would never keep a balance on a credit card, ever. So, I
Uh huh.
mean, it's kind of a moot point here because it's like you should always pay it off. If you're putting $3,000 on a credit card to get the points, keeping a balance
Yeah.
completely erases all the benefit of getting the points because then you're paying interest on the card. And then the reward becomes that much less valuable. So always pay it off. But no, the 3,000 does not need to be spent at the same time. You could spend $1,000 in January, $1,000 in February, $1,000 in March. As long as it's done within that time frame, you'll get all the
Hmm.
points. Yeah, and that's going to be very easy for you to do in the vending machine business. And, especially if your overhead is, like 1,500, you should be doing this all the time. Like every 6 months, sign up for new
Hmm.
cards. As long as you're not going to buy a house in the next like few years, which I don't think you could either
Yeah.
because you need the tax returns. If I were you and you have a good credit, I would every 6 months get a new credit card, rack up the points. Get a new credit card, rack up the points. And by the time you're like 21, you're gonna have like
Hmm.
I don't know, a few 100,000 points that are sitting there that you can use for travel. You can use them for a hotel. You can just ball out, and you can go anywhere you want. You can make more interesting content by just using points.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, anyway, man, thank you so much for the call. I really appreciate it. And keep up the great work with the channel. And keep me posted on everything, by the way.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on here. It really means a lot, having a chance to speak with you and
You got it, man.
my questions answered.
You got it. I really appreciate it. And for anyone curious, you want me to link to your channel in the description?
If that's okay,
Yeah, man, of
that's okay.
course. Of course. Yeah. So for anyone watching then, this channel is in the description. I highly recommend checking it out. It's super interesting, and hopefully you end up doing some mobile home park investing. So I can
Hopefully,
watch
we'll
that.
see.
Cool. Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, you got it. Bye. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys make it to the very end, you haven't already hit the like button. Make sure to always absolutely destroy and abolish the like button. Also, make sure to subscribe and add me on Instagram. I plugged that already, but just add me there. And thank you again for watching. Until next time.